नमस्कार, गुड इवनिंग सभी व्यक्तियों को मेरा नमस्कार। थैंक यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग दिस वेबिनार। दिस इज द वेबिनार for search proceedings under the Center Goods and Services Tax Act 2017, being a part of Chapter 14 of the CGST Act 2017. Chapter 14 covers Section 67 to 72, inspection, search, seizure, witnesses, arrest, etc. The subject is too long. I try to best if possible, and I will like to share my knowledge in brief. आप सबको पसंद आएगा? Dear friends, subject is too long. It may be divided in 3 parts. First part is preliminary stage, that is till entry in the premises to start inspection search proceedings. Second part is after starting the search but before completing the search, and the last part is after search but before issuing the show cause notice. Now all investigation proceedings will be divided in 3 parts, and it is not desirable to take up all the issues in the one sitting. So the proceedings during search and the proceedings after search but before completing the investigation, that is issuing the show cause notice, will be discussed subsequently in future. So far as search is concerned, the similar provisions has also been given under Chapter 13 of Customs Act 1962. It contains Section 100 to 110A, and also under Central Excise Act 1944, Section 12A, 13 and 14. Under Central Excise Act 1944, the provisions are very brief, and several issues are depend upon implications. But under CGST Act and Customs Act, most of the things has been specified under the law itself. Decision to take inspection, search or not is a discretion in hand of the departmental authority. But it is not a mere discretionary power. It is a power in performance of their statutory duties. So, because of performance of statutory duties, there are several issues which could be referred before the court of law for judicial intervention. Accordingly, proper care and internal working is also required to be carried out by the departmental officer prior to starting investigation, that is search and inspection proceedings. It is well settled law that if a statute confers certain power in hand of departmental authorities, it is not required each and every power must be specified specific. Certain things will also depend upon the implications, because the law does not permit that a provision of the law might be converted into a dead letter of law. At this stage, our focus is not to discuss the discretionary power of the department rather than to discuss the search proceedings. So I stop it, the discretionary power at this point. Now we will start the provisions relating to inspection and search. Subsection 1 of section 67 of CGST Act 2017 is containing two clauses. Clause A, which is relating to the supplier of goods or services or both, and clause B is in relation to the persons who are providing certain incidental services to them in relation to supply of goods. And then subsequently, how to carry out the inspection has been defined. Now, the whole provision may be divided into few parts. First part is the authority who decides to take a decision, to take inspection or search. Second point, how it could have been decided. Third point, under which condition, that is statement of facts, which lays down the condition in which inspection or search proceedings may be carried out. Fourth part is the officer who carried out the search and inspection proceedings. And the last part, in which places the search is to be carried out. Now we start the provisions of section 67 subsection 1. Subsection 1 lays down where any authority not below the rank of joint commissioner has reason to believe. Now first point is, who will take the decision? क्या असिस्टेंट कमिश्नर, डिप्टी कमिश्नर को इंस्पेक्शन या सर्च करने का निर्णय लेने का अधिकार है? सर्च के लिए करना जाना अलग घटना है और सर्च करने के लिए निर्णय लेना एक अलग घटना है. क्या असिस्टेंट कमिश्नर, डिप्टी कमिश्नर may take the decision to start inspection or search proceedings? Where plain reading of section 67 subsection 1 points out where any authority not below the rank of joint commissioner. So plain reading indicates that at this stage the decision to take inspection or search will be in hand of any authority not below the rank of joint commissioner. This is bare reading. But relevant point is, under section 67 subsection 1, there is no non-obstancy clause, just like non-obstantive anything contained in any other section or provision. Accordingly, if we can analyze the scope by taking section 67 subsection 1, then the interpretation will be in piecemeal and incomplete. Just like section 12E of the Central Excise Act 1944, section 5 of the CGST Act 2017 points out the power in hand of the departmental authority. Just like section 12E, subsection 2 of section 5 states that any authority may perform the duties which is otherwise to be performed by its subordinate authority. It means commissioner may seize the power of joint commissioner and perform the duty which is to be taken by the joint commissioner. Similarly, joint commissioner may seize the power and perform the duties of the assistant commissioner also. But the point is whether the joint commissioner may delegate its decision-making power in hand of assistant commissioner, deputy commissioner to decide inspection or search proceedings. Subsection 3 of section 5. Similar provision has not been contained under Central Excise Act 1944 because section 12E is providing the power to capture the power of subordinate authority. But section 12E does not contain the power to delegate in someone else, the subordinate authority. Though Central Excise Act is still applicable on few commodities. So, Central Excise Act is an analogous law. At the same time, it is also paramaterial because most of the goods instead of Central Excise Act by replacing it by the CGST Act 2017. But Customs Act 1962 is an analogous act in reference to CGST Act 2017 or vice versa. Because one deals with international trade while another deals with indigenous trade. So both the acts are analogous with each other. Subsection 3 of section 5 lays down that the commissioner may subject to the limitations and conditions as may be specified by him in this law, may delegate its power to any authority who is subordinate to him. Since assistant commissioner, deputy commissioner, joint commissioner, etc. are subordinate of the commissioner in jurisdiction. So commissioner is having sufficient power to take authority in hand of assistant commissioner to decide whether search is to be carried out or not. Because of specific provision under section 5 subsection 3, and it is also relevant to point out that under section 67 there is no non-obstancy clause. So section 67 subsection 1, subsection 2 or even entire section 67 could not be perused alone. Now if the joint commissioner is providing the power in hand of assistant commissioner to decide whether search is carried out or not, the delegation will be defective because section 5 subsection 3 is giving such power only in hand of commissioner and not in any other authority. So the permission given by the joint commissioner to take decision by the assistant commissioner is a defective exercise, which could be rectified only after granting the permission by the commissioner. But if the assistant commissioner himself decides whether search is to be carried out or not, inspection is to be carried out or not, then such decision will be without jurisdiction at all. Now we will move on second part. Second part employs the term reason to believe, not reason to suspect. Under chapter 13 of the Customs Act 1962, Central Excise Act 1944, or even under CGST Act 2017, the term is not been defined. It is important to point out that this similar provision has been contained under the Customs Act 1962 and Central Excise Act 1944. The decisions pronounced by judicial authorities like Honorable Supreme Court and other judicial authorities will also be relevant under this act to the extent of investigation proceedings, but subject to the context, because provisions might be similar to some extent but not same. For example, delegation of authority given by commissioner to someone else who is subordinate to him, this type of provision has not been contained by the Central Excise Act 1944. So the decision could not be relied upon without considering the context. Now, reason to believe. Section 26 of Indian Penal Code points out that a person is said to have a reason to believe about a thing if he has possessed sufficient cause to believe on that thing but otherwise not. यानी यदि किसी व्यक्ति के पास कोई ठोस कारण है जिसके आधार पर वो किसी घटना पर विश्वास कर सके तो उसको रीजन टू बिलीव कहेंगे, अन्यथा नहीं. इसका मतलब इट मीन्स if the decision has been taken by the authority on the basis of information which is not tangible, germane, or not having any information at all, or the materials or information which are not relevant, or having no nexus with the grounds prepared for taking decision, then the entire exercise would get this. And the puri exercise illegal without reason to believe is a tangible part of the entire section. Now, question is how to framework the belief, because it does not based on speculation, means assumptions, presumptions, or pseudocracy, but it must be based on some tangible information or documents. On that basis, the ground has been prepared, and after preparing the ground, the decision has been taken by analyzing such ground. Now, starting point might be suspicion or assumption or caprice or whim. On that basis, the department may start investigation proceedings to collect information or documents from strangers. Law does not restrict them. At the one time, the law does not want to arrest any public, any person at all. But at the same time, the law does not also prevent their officers to do the thing to check, to control, to find out evasion of duty. The term reason to believe has been employed rather than reason to suspect. Now, first point is on the basis of speculation or assumptions, presumptions, they will start to collect information, documents, or evidences from strangers. After collecting the information, they will prepare proper grounds. Now, point is, information is required. Information or document which must be tangible and reasonable. sufficient or not, whether information collected or evidence is collected are sufficient or not, is not a matter of judicial review. कोर्ट कभी भी एक एक घटना को बारीकी से देखने के लिए नहीं बैठी. इट इज एडजुडिकेशन का वर्क. द कोर्ट इज नॉट सिटिंग to check each and every point of fact minutely by putting a microscope. It is not a function of the court. Court, whatever will be seen is whether the information collected is tangible or not. It must be germane. If the information is germane, tangible, then groundwork is to be prepared. After frameworking the grounds, then on the basis of their experienced eye, capacity to understand the situation, the circumstances, as well as their mindset and knowledge about trade customs and the practices adopted by the person under consideration, they will take the decision. What is important is the ground prepared should be linked with the information evidence is collected. If there is no nexus between them, the whole exercise will become vicious, will become absolutely based on mere speculation and not sustainable at all. Now, third point is, if they take the decision, then the question is whether their decision is reasonable or not. It is not a matter whether the decision is correct or not, because correctness is not since it is a very complicated working. So the decision which correct or not is not a matter of the decision of the court. Whatever will be seen, decision is reasonable or not. If instead of the departmental authority, if any honest person मैं जानना चाहता हूं कि आपको आवाज आ रही है कि नहीं. अगर आपको आवाज नहीं आ रही हो तो मैं इसका एक प्रॉपर वीडियो बनाकर उसको तुरंत पुटअप करूंगा. I say come again in 30 seconds. Please log in again in 30 seconds. Password will be the same. आप 30 सेकंड्स का वेट कर लीजिए और लॉगिन कर दीजिए. पासवर्ड वही होगा. प्लीज रिकनेक्ट. Please reconnect. ID password is same. Please reconnect in 30 seconds. Sorry for inconvenience. Now we will start. Under section 67, subsection 1, the term used is reason to believe. We are taking up the term reason to believe. अब वाइज आ रही होगी. मैं सोच रहा हूं आपको प्रॉपर तरीके से. Now term used is reason to believe. आपकी वीडियो मत हो गई. We already analyzed that the reason to believe is a more stronger than the term reason to suspect. After analyzing the information, material, evidences, documents collected by the department from strangers being a part of investigation proceedings, they will framework the grounds. So there must be a direct connection, nexus between the ground framework and the information collected. If there is no direct nexus, there is no connection, then the whole exercise will become invalid due to mere based on speculation or assumptions basis. So entire exercise will be illegal at all. Now the question is whether the information collected or documents gathered is tangible or not. It is a matter of the judicial review. But whether material or information are sufficient or not is not a matter of the judicial review. Second point is frameworking the grounds. Grounds framework is to be reasonable one. Grounds is to be reasonable again. And after preparing the grounds on the basis of information collected by the departmental authorities during investigation proceedings, but prior to starting inspection or such proceedings. This is an important point. The ground prepared is to be based on the information, document, evidences which have been collected by the departmental authorities prior to starting the inspection or such proceedings. On the basis of that information, documents, they will prepare the grounds, and on such grounds, then they will take the decision whether the inspection is to be carried out or not. Because under subsection 2 of section 67, search is to be carried out because of the result of the inspection carried out under subsection 1 of section 67 or otherwise because of a material in the hand of the departmental authorities. So inspection of the inspection is quite relevant and key issue. Their decision whether correct or not is not a matter of judicial review. Question is whether their decision is based on the grounds which has been prepared on the basis of the information which are tangible and reasonable. That is the important point. Under section 67 subsection 1, there is no provision that such grounds, such information must be required to be informed to the assessee at the time of or before starting the search or inspection. Departmental authority is not duty bound to point out the name of the person who informed the department of the strangers. However, if assessee asks them the ground prepared by them or the information collected by them, it is the natural right of the assessee. But department its own is not duty bound to them to inform suo motu. However, if the assessee knows that at the time of search, starting the search and inspection, that about defects in the authorization or having no authority or about the grounds in their file, etc. But he does not ask anything from them. Subsequently, he also decided to participate in trial. After a lapse of some considerable point of time, if he will decide to go in the court about legality of the search, probably, as per my knowledge, his petition will not be entertained by the court. Because asking the information or pointing out is civil right, and once civil right has been foregone, there is no provision to again its revival. If search is illegal because of not having reason to believe, but during the search, its departmental authorities collects several information or evidences, and by which evasion of duty seems to be reflected, then the assessee will face the adjudication proceedings, which could not be dropped merely on the ground that the search was illegal. Now, I think reason to believe has been discussed, so there is no end because it is too long subject. But we are having some limitations because subject is too long. So only key issues has been decided to be taken. If there is any issue or query or question, you may raise at any time by email or through telephonically or by WhatsApp. Now we are going into और यदि किसी का कोई भी क्वेश्चन हो तो आप उससे पूछ भी सकते हैं बिना किसी हिचक के। अपन आगे बढ़ते हैं थर्ड पार्ट। थर्ड पार्ट है क्लॉज ए एंड क्लॉज बी, अंडर विच सिचुएशन और स्टेटमेंट ऑफ फैक्ट्स द इंस्पेक्शन इज टू बी कैरिड आउट। क्लॉज ए ऑफ सबसेक्शन 1 of section 67 points out if any taxable person suppress the taxable turnover of supply of goods or services or both. It is first part. Second part, suppressed the stock of goods. Under clause A, third part is he has claimed excess input tax credit over his real actual entitlement. And the fourth part is he has indulged in contravention of any provision of the CGST Act 2017 or the rules made there under to evade payment of tax. B part relating to incidental services. It points out a transporter, a person involved in transporting the goods, a godown keeper, a warehouse keeper, or any other operator of any other premises who keeps the goods which have been not stored by paying appropriate duty or tax. This is first part. Second part, or he kept books of accounts or material which is caused to evade payment of tax. ये दो ग्राउंड से जिसके आधार पर अदर प्रीमाइसेस को कवर किया खड़ा होता है। एनी अदर प्लेस का मतलब क्या होगा? कोई स्ट्रेंजर प्लेस तो नहीं होगा. एनी अदर प्लेस मीन्स प्लेस कनेक्टेड विथ clause A or clause B. The first point is business place. Place of business has been defined under section 2 clause 85, which in three parts. First part is the premises at which purchase, sale, dealings, supply of goods, or purchase of input, services or inputs, or other connected business dealings has been carried out. B part is in relation to a place, in relation to books of account, a place at which books of accounts has been maintained. So far as books of accounts record is concerned, chapter 8, section 35-36 of the CGST Act is containing the provisions about books of accounts. बिजनेस प्लेस के सी पार्ट में एजेंट्स को जो किसी भी नाम से बिजनेस करते हैं इन्वॉल्व किया गया है. अब प्रश्न खड़ा होता है कि क्या किसी अटॉर्नी होल्डर, किसी प्रोफेशनल कंसल्टेंट के यहाँ डिपार्टमेंट क्या इंस्पेक्शन के लिए जा सकता है? अब यदि असेसी ने खुद ही डिपार्टमेंट को कन्फेस कर दिया हो कि मेरे बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स तो मेरे अटॉर्नी होल्डर क्या मेंटेन होते हैं, तब डिपार्टमेंट क्या करेगा? उसके पास पर्याप्त रीजन होगा, ये अपने आप में स्टेटमेंट असेसी, उसके ऑफिस जाकर असेसी से संबंधित डॉक्यूमेंट्स को मांगने का. It is important to point out that when the department issues authorization letter, in authorization letter, it is not required to mention the list of books of accounts or records which is required to be inspected or required to be seized or detained. या फिर कोई और ऐसी कम्युनिकेशन हो या खुद इस में से रिफ्लेक्शन हो रहा हो कि असेसी के जो भी अकाउंट से संबंधित डिसीजन है वो उसका अटॉर्नी होल्डर लेता है. तो इस कंडीशन में अटॉर्नी होल्डर का प्लेस अपने आप में प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस कहला जाएगा ड्यू टू मेंटेनिंग द बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट. और अदरवाइज इट आल्सो कवर्ड अंडर टर्म एनी अदर प्लेस. तो प्रॉपर केयर should be maintained in this regard. Now fourth point is about authorization. Because after clause B, section 67 subsection 1 points out he बात कहा गया joint commissioner or any superior authority, he may authorize any officer subordinate to him to carry out inspection of business place, a godown, warehouse, or any other place, including agent's place. अब क्वेश्चन खड़ा होता है कि वो ऑथराइजेशन देगा तो खुद भी कर सकता है, क्योंकि जब उसको ऑथराइजेशन देने का अधिकार है तो खुद में इंस्पेक्शन करने का अधिकार है, बिकॉज ऑफ द पावर बाय वे ऑफ इम्प्लीकेशन ऑफ लॉ. एंड सेकेंडली ऑथराइजेशन का स्पेसिफिक प्रोविजन. अब ऑथराइजेशन जो सबऑर्डिनेट अथॉरिटी को देगा वो अंडर रूल 39 139 सब रूल 1 में होगा, उसका फॉर प्रिस्क्राइब प्रॉपर अथॉरिटी का. ना अपन ने सेक्शन 67 सब सेक्शन 1 के पांचों पार्ट को कर लिया. ये सर्च स्टार्ट होने से प्रिलिमिनरी स्टेज इंस्पेक्शन. Now we are going into subsection 2, which is too long because search is having three parts. First part is initial preliminary stage, which have already been discussed by us up to this point. Second part during search, and third part after search but before issuing so-called notices. During search, the discussion will be too long because it is also again in two parts. First part is सीजर ऑफ गुड्स, कन्फिस्केशन ऑफ गुड्स। अब ना गुड्स की अकाउंटिंग कैसे, काउंटिंग कैसे होगी, गुड्स का सीजर मेमो कैसे बनेगा, विटनेस कौन होंगी, और गुड्स एक्सेस है या शॉर्टेज है, अकाउंटेड है अनअकाउंटेड है, उसकी काउंटिंग प्रॉपर है कि नहीं, किस तरह से होगी। बहुत सारे इश्यूज होंगे जो वहां पर डिस्कस होंगे, जो अपने आप में 30 to 45-50 मिनट्स का मिनिमम इशू। फिर बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट का मसला आएगा कि बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स का डिटेंशन होगा, उसका सीजर होगा, रिकॉर्ड्स का, डॉक्यूमेंट्स का, उसकी इन्वेंट्री होगी, इन्वेंट्री किस तरह से बैंक स्टेटमेंट होगी, उसका राइट ऑफ फोटोकॉपी टू टेक इमीडिएटली और नॉट, पंचनामा बनेगा, विटनेस भी होंगी। बहुत सारे इश्यूज उस समय होंगे जबकि डॉक्यूमेंट्स का, रिकॉर्ड्स का, उसका डिटेंशन होगा, सीजर होगा। It is quote prior to completing the search, that is during search, असेसी का रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑथराइज्ड के स्टेटमेंट्स भी होते हैं, कोई बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट होगा। तो उसके बाद देन विटनेस को समन्स, उनका स्टेटमेंट्स, असेसी के कन्फेशनल स्टेटमेंट्स, एडवोकेट्स की रिक्वायरमेंट होगी कि नहीं, उसको परमिशन, उसकी परमिशन होगी कि नहीं, एफिडेविट्स का क्या रोल होगा, स्टेटमेंट्स कैसे पढ़े जाएंगे, उसमें एक्सप्लोरेटरी पार्ट वो सब कैसे डिसाइड होंगे। यानी बहुत सारे स्टेटमेंट्स के अपने इशू हैं जो कि अपने आप में 2 सेशन का इशू होगा, एटलीस्ट 35-40 मिनट्स का ईच सेशन, बिकॉज इट इज टू लॉन्ग इशू। देन देयर आफ्टर अगला इशू होगा कि जब इन्वेस्टिगेशन प्रोसेस चल रहा है, विटनेस चल रहा है, तब विटनेस का क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन कब आप मांग कर सकते हैं, कब डिपार्टमेंट आपको देने को बाध्य नहीं है, अगर वो आपको देने को बाध्य है और नहीं दिया तो क्या रिजल्ट निकलेगा, ये अपने इशू होंगे। उसके बाद अंत में शोका होता है एडिटिंग। तो जब अपन इन्वेस्टिगेशन की पार्ट की बात करते हैं तो इन्वेस्टिगेशन के अंदर शोका इशू होने के तक की स्टेज आती है, यानी कि सेक्शन 72 सेक्शन 73 से प्रायर स्टेज। ये बहुत बड़ा सब्जेक्ट होगा, अपन इसको अगले वेबिनार में फिर डिस्कस करेंगे। आपने जो इस वेबिनार में पार्टिसिपेट किया, आप कोई भी डाउट हो तो आप मुझे ईमेल कर दीजिए। मेरा ईमेल आईडी है raviholani@yahoo.co.in। आप मेरे मोबाइल नंबर पर व्हाट्सएप भी कर सकते हैं 9425109183, और ये रिकॉर्डिंग आपको यूट्यूब पर भी मिल जाएगी। आप किसी को फॉरवर्ड भी कर सकते हैं, यदि आपको डिस्कस करना कुछ चाहते हैं तो आप मुझसे डिस्कस भी कर सकते हैं, कोई भी डाउट। और अभी आप भी पूछ सकते हैं, लेकिन अगर आप इसको मेल पर भेजेंगे तो बहुत आसान हो जाएगा, क्योंकि मैं आपको डिटेल्ड उत्तर दे पाऊंगा। और आप पूछ लीजिए, कोई भी डाउट हो तो आप पूछ सकते हैं, या अभी अपन सेक्शन 62 को ब्रीफ में पढ़े। यानी कोई डाउट हो अभी? ना, आपने जो पार्टिसिपेट किया उसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आपको थैंक्स टू ज्वाइन दिस प्रोग्राम, दिस वेबिनार, एंड दिस इज माय फर्स्ट वेबिनार। और अपन फिर मिलते रहेंगे और इन इश्यूज पर डिस्कस करते रहेंगे। थैंक्स, फिर मिलेंगे।
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर,
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर,
थैंक यू।
फिर मिलेंगे अपन, थैंक्स। और आप सब बढ़िया, एकदम
सब बढ़िया
अच्छा
सर,
चल रहा है पूरा, बहुत बढ़िया, अच्छे से मैं समझता हूँ। काफी इशू खड़े होंगे, डिस्कस करते रहेंगे। थैंक यू
थैंक यू सर,
थैंक यू सर,
थैंक यू।